Hey Art Foundations, today you are going to create your drawing for your multiple hand building technique pot. Okay, there's several steps that you're going to have to do before you can actually make what your final pot would look like. Just know, I know you're not going to be able to use clay to create this multi-hand building technique pot, but you can still do all the steps that you would do during class before you were able to actually make your pot. So we're going to go through all that. Afterwards, you're going to do a little paragraph using specific terminology to tell me how the steps you would use to create your pots. Okay, so it's like a two-parter. You're drawing, and then you're going to be answering a paragraph description of how to. All right, so we're going to do this step by step. So here we go. Okay, as you can see, you can get yourself some notebook paper. I think notebook paper might be best for this particular assignment because we're going to be paying attention to how many lines we have, and the lines are going to be representing coils, all right? So the first thing I want you to do is to give me some silhouette designs. That means just outline drawings of 4 different possible pots that you would make. Now remember, it's going to be started off with a pinch pot, so you're going to have to make sure you have like that little bottom part, and then after that your designs can be whatever. So you're going to give me 4 preliminary silhouette designs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide my paper into 4. All right, so I'm just going to take it. I'm going to use, don't make them teeny weeny, make them nice size. All right, so I've just divided my paper into 4. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to use 2 of my lines. I'm going to give myself a little foot. All right, I'm going to do that because all of your bottoms are more or less going to look the same. They're going to be this like pinch pot, this little curved bottom. So I'm going to do that on all of mine, all 4, just to have that ready. Okay, so there's my pinch pot, right? So now I'm ready for my design. I could go straight up, right? I could go straight up. Not very interesting looking, but you could do it. I'm going to put myself a little lip on there. I could go straight up and then curve in and have a little bit of a neck. Right? Maybe I might want to go out and then up, out a little bit. And maybe I might want to do more of an hourglass. And a flare. So those are my 4 preliminary ideas, okay? So you want to have 4 ideas, plain, nothing on them, okay? Now, you can take 2 of those and now detail them up for me, all right? So 4 preliminary, and then you're going to have 2 that are ideas for hand building techniques. And you're thinking, what's she talking about? Well, I want to see where you're going to have your coils. I want to see where you're going to have your slabs. And of course, we already know where you're going to have your pinch pot. All right. So I could say, all right, I'm going to have some coils right along here. Right. I might end up with some triangle slabs. And then I might go in here with coil some coils, also triangular, right? And then coils. And I might have just a plain slab right here. I might cut out some triangles, like cookie cutter triangles, add on top of it. And then, again, straight up with my coils, right? So I have pinch pot. I have coil number 1. I have coil number 2. And I have here and here, I have my slab. So I would like for you to have at least 2 different types of coil designs, okay, in your pot. And you can have just one slab design, it's up to you, or you can have multiple and you have to have pinch pot. So that would be a preliminary idea showing my hand building techniques. You remember your hand building techniques? Pinch pot, coil, slab. So I want to see all 3 of them in this pot design. All right, so I have number 1 of that done. Now I'm going to do my second one. Maybe I might have, maybe the neck right here is going to be a slab, and maybe I might have a slab right in here. So just a plain slab, and then I might have coils, wavy coils above and below. I have these round beads. Right in between. And then I'll have coils, plain coils. I think I'm gonna add 2 for my lip here. All right, so I've got coils, and I've got beads, and I've got coils, and I've got a pinch pot. So I'm now finished with 2 of my designs. I've done my 4 designs. I've turned 2 of them into detail ideas for my hand building technique pot. All right, so that's what I want to see. Now for your final design, I want you to take your notebook paper and I want you to fold it in half. And you can even lightly trace your line of symmetry right here so you know where it's at. All right, now every single notebook line represents a coil, all right? So that means these are 1/4 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Technically they're bigger than that, so every 3 is gonna be, all right? So every 3 is gonna be 1 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is inch 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Your multi-hand building pot has to be 8 inches tall. It could be larger, okay, but it cannot be smaller than 8 inches, all right? So remember that when you're designing this. So mark it off on the sideline here like I did in the margins. Every 3 notebook lines equals your dimensions. So it's a little bit more than 1/4 inch, more or less probably about 5/8 of an inch, okay? So here we go. I am going to make only on one side. I'm going to emphasize this. I'm only going to draw my design on one side because I want to do a symmetrical design, okay? So I'm going to do a symmetrical design. So I'm only going to draw on one side, all right, of this line of symmetry. So I'm gonna say my pinch pot is gonna be about 2 inches tall. So only draw half of my pinch pot right here, right? Half of my pinch pot. I think I'm going to have my neck and coming down. I'm gonna swing out with my shoulders, come out a little bit, then I'm gonna come down in an angle, okay? So that's gonna be the silhouette of my pot. And again, I only did half of it, okay? You're only gonna do half of it. Now you notice my lines are getting dark. Yes, go dark, okay? Make dark lines. I'm gonna apply my slabs first, all right? So I might have, and remember your slabs can be one solid long slab, or it can be like cookies, you know, where you cut them up and use them within your design, all right? I'm gonna have a slab right here, and I'm gonna have a slab right there. I'm also gonna cut out little bitty round cookie circles, and I'm gonna attach them on there, all right? So those are all slabs, right? Now I'm gonna go in with my coils. Every line represents 2 coils. So every line is going to represent 2 coils. So I'm going to make sure I have my lip is made of coils. All right. I don't want to get too fancy up here at the neck because I want to make sure it's pretty strong. So I'm just going to keep it so it's a coil. Okay. Now I want to have 2 different types of coils or more, okay? So my straight coils are 1, and I think now I'm going to come right in here in the center, and I think I'm going to just do I like doing the wavy ones. Like incorporating a bead, all right? And then I'll have a regular coil. You always need to have a plain straight coil underneath any fancy coils you have, okay? It's for structural integrity there. Otherwise, they'll fall apart. All right, so I have my pinch pot. I have 2 different types of coils, plus I have some coil beads here. I have slab with slab designs on top of it, and I have everything. So now what I want to do, I want to come in here, and again, if you have one of those dark ebony pencils, go in there and trace this and make that nice and dark. If not, if you have just a regular HB pencil like myself, really darken it up, all right? Now, fold your paper over in half, all right? Fold your paper over in half. And this is where if you have a ballpoint pen, you can use the back of your ballpoint pen. And I am just going to rub on the back of my lines. I can see my lines, okay, through my paper here. I'm going to just rub as hard as I can. I'm trying to transfer my pencil onto the other side of the paper, right? So I'll end up with a symmetrical design, a design that's going to be identical, the same mirror image on the other side. Now let me see what I got here. Super light, but I can see it, okay? I can see it good enough for me to now go back in with my pencil and darken it. So I do my shape first. Okay, I'm going to go back in and do my slab, just like I did when I drew it. All right, and I'm going to go in here and trace my wave, add my little beads. And then you can kind of like freehand these coils. Just make sure they're in the right section. All right, so there is my finished multi-hand building technique pot. All right, now you're not done yet. What I want you to do now, I want you to say pinch pot. I want you to label the techniques that you used. Pinch pot. Coil number 1, slab. Coil number 2. All right, and then I'm going to say slab circles. All right, so I'm going to say coil beads. So I've labeled all the different techniques, hand building techniques that I've used. All right, one more thing, I want you to identify the parts of your pot. So right up here, they'd be sticking out a little bit more, these two would be. Okay, that's your lip, that's your neck, that's your shoulder, that's your body or your belly. Okay, and then add a little bitty coil right here, and then that's going to be your foot. All right, so I want you to label the parts of your pot. Okay, so that looks like you're going to have a slight indentation or something, so I can make sure you can see a difference between your neck and your shoulder. All right, when you come up with your design, so be pretty creative when it comes to that. So symmetrical design, label hand building techniques, and that's HB, means hand building techniques. And then label parts of pot. So you're gonna have all those things on this one piece of paper. So those are your 3 drawings you have to do for this assignment. One more time. You do me 4 outline designs. From those 4, give me 2, all right? Do 2 of them where you are going to do your details. And again, identify your hand building techniques, and then do your final 8-inch design, all right? So that's going to be your Thursday activity, okay? That's going to be your Thursday assignment. And again, after you do those 2 things, or 3 things, these 3 drawings, you're then going to answer in paragraph form or even listing form, it doesn't matter, how you would make this hand building, multi-hand building pot, all right? All the steps. I'm going to give you specific words to use, okay, in this paragraph description. So look forward to that. So that would be unit 3, all right? And that is your ceramic unit. So we're going to be finished with that, all right? So good luck and do a nice job.